Christina Stumble. I'm the founder and CEO of Farmgirl Flowers. I started Farmgirl Flowers about 9 years ago from my dining room table in my little apartment. And now we're in a 30,000 square foot warehouse here in San Francisco with about 150 team members, doing over $30 million in revenue. So I started Farmgirl Flowers here in San Francisco almost 9 years ago from my dining room. I saw this industry where the latest innovation was in the mid-90s. It was actually a declining industry, so the e-commerce side of the floral space was declining. And back in 2010, that should not be happening. Every other industry I was researching showed leaps and bounds growth back then. Consumers were not leaving their homes to get anything anymore. And so the fact that flowers wasn't following that same trajectory was really stunning to me, really. So I thought, well, can I take this this model, this e-commerce model, and can I change it to make younger consumers want to buy more regularly in this area again? So the biggest problem that I wanted to solve for when I was laying out all the problems in the space as I saw it was actually flowers that weren't attractive. So let me create a model that will be able to deliver higher quality, more beautiful designed bouquets to consumers all over the country. And so that's how I came up with Farmgirl Flowers. How I came up with the burlap wrap was I wanted to create a brand, not just a product. I wanted there to be an entire brand around what we do, which is we make beautiful flower arrangements, but we're also creating a really great company. And the burlap was the first part of how do we differentiate ourselves from our competitors. I didn't want to send out these bouquets that were really working on lowering our waste and our environmental impacts in cellophane. So I am a big fan of knowing your numbers and researching. When people, a lot of people tell me, how do you know all of this? Literally, it's Google. It's like YouTube, Google. There's really no excuse to not know information now because it's at our fingertips. We don't even have to go search through archives at a library. We can do it from our pajamas on our couch. And I'm constantly researching. I'm constantly researching new ways of doing things and automation tools and technology tools that could help us do our job better. And I'm also researching what are the new trends across industries so that way we don't become obsolete and we don't become the company that someone else is looking at 20 years from now and saying, oh, there's been no innovation in the flower space since Farmgirl in 2010. We can all learn. We can all ask our customers. We just launched a customer advisory council so we can get feedback in real time very quickly from our customers. We are now in a 30,000 square foot warehouse here in San Francisco, the most expensive city in the United States, which is a challenge in itself. We've been very fortunate to be able to have this warehouse. It's a short-term rental space, so we will need to move in the short term from here. So we're looking at our options for that. However, when we moved in here, we had 9,000 square feet and we just kept taking more and more space. We have an amazing team of about 150 people here in San Francisco now. From receiving flowers to processing to designing to fulfillment, customer service, it's all in-house here. We make each bouquet right now in-house here in San Francisco, and we're really proud of that. We think that's kind of our secret sauce, and what makes us really special is we don't outsource our customer service to a third party. We really take care of our customers. We care about each order that goes out the door here, and really, really grateful for my amazing team here. From the start, I have wanted to make sure that we were doing the best we could to lessen our environmental impacts. From the burlap wrap that we use, that saves over a ton of plastic every year by not using cellophane. We've worked with growers on a lot of the growers that send us the flowers and how they ship the flowers to us, so they're not using cellophane a lot of times, using craft paper instead. We've done a lot of things to try to lessen our plastic waste. We also, with bike couriers, that has saved a lot in the city as well. All of our boxes from the start have been recyclable in all states. They don't have plastic coating. Every decision that I make is to keep in mind that I'm trying to build a company that I would want to buy from, sell to, and work at, and to also make sure that we're doing our very best that we can to lessen our environmental impacts. It's a very segregated industry in that the florists, like the wedding and event flower, designers, and the florists, the corner florists, are predominantly female. The consumers are female. And yet the suppliers and the large e-commerce flower CEOs and owners are male. And that matters. The average florist makes $350,000 a year. The e-commerce flower companies make $1 billion a year. And so while we're all infighting at this level of like, we don't like this person who's doing this, we could be so much stronger if we would just support each other, but we don't. And I believe that the men in this industry are laughing all the way to the bank. And so I want to change that. And so we will support every female florist that we can. We will not talk bad of them. We will, we send so many referrals when we get asked. We send referrals all the time for events that we can't take or Monday deliveries that we can't do out of area and things like that, because that's the right thing to do. And we want to give the female florists in that area much more business than the male-led e-commerce companies. It costs a lot less to keep a customer than to buy a new one, basically. Yeah, so my goal has always been to grow $1 billion business. I think it's going to take a long time, bootstrap, to do that, but we think we can get there. In my apartment, the first couple of years, I did $56,000 the first year, and as I mentioned, we're going to come in over $30 million this year in revenue. So we're growing it as quickly as we can. An early team member here said something that I still talk about all the time. She said, every 2 weeks at Farmgirl, it's a different company. And it's very true. So I'm constantly thinking about what makes the most sense, running the numbers, figuring out with current, unemployment rates and high cost of living in this area, like what makes sense for us. I'm looking at, if we, need automation, if we need to, open distribution centers closer to the end consumer. So just constantly running our numbers and figuring out at that moment what makes the most sense for us. And that might change by the time I actually save up enough money to do what that plan is.